Okay, so welcome back to the deep dive.
Yes, hello.
We're really trying to dig into,
Right.
the author's story, like
Mhm.
what was going on in her life just before,
Right.
the spirit of adventure that we see in the excerpt, like what was
Yeah.
going on with her right before that.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It
Yeah,
is.
to look at what kind of sets the stage for a big change
Right.
in someone's life,
Yeah, totally.
It's like by understanding the before, we can get a much clearer picture of the why behind their after.
Mm.
And I think in this part of her experience,
Hmm.
as you listen to this, you might even find some echoes of your own early adulthood,
Oh, yeah.
navigating choices and expectations and all that. It's
Mm.
pretty universal.
Totally, yeah. I mean, I know, I definitely relate to that. So, okay, let's jump back to 2007, right? When the author was at university. And she was studying tourism and hospitality, which on the surface,
Right.
you would think would be like a great fit for someone with a desire to see the world. But almost right away, it seems like things
Mhm.
weren't quite lining up for her.
Yeah.
She mentioned that she felt really pressured to choose a career path without
Yeah.
any real world experience at 17.
Yeah.
And that must have felt
Oh, absolutely.
so restrictive. Like, was that something you kind of went through as well?
Oh, big time. That
Yeah.
feeling of having to fit into some predetermined box before you've even had a chance to discover who you are
Yeah.
or what you're actually passionate about.
Yeah.
It can be incredibly limiting. But, what I find really interesting here
Mm.
is that she was aware of it
Yes.
right from the start, this disconnect.
Right.
She wasn't just passively going through the motions. She was actively recognizing
Yes.
that this path wasn't really resonating with her
Totally.
on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And that takes a certain level of self-awareness.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the pressure of choosing a direction kind of
Mhm.
blindly at that young age. She also describes this
Mhm.
like real deep dissatisfaction with the whole
Yes.
university environment,
Mhm.
the curriculum,
Yeah.
her fellow students, even the classes themselves.
Yeah.
Like she just found them uninspiring and irrelevant.
Right. She felt trapped
Yeah. So trapped.
in the system.
It sounds like, yeah, trapped in the system.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Like, what are some of the reasons why someone in her situation might feel?
I think often it comes down to this perceived lack of autonomy,
Mm-hmm.
feeling like the path is dictated rather than chosen.
Right.
There can be a disconnect between the theoretical knowledge and the practical application,
Yes.
which is what leads to that sense of irrelevance she describes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's the focus on conformity,
Yeah.
producing a certain kind of graduate, that can really stifle creativity and exploration, which it sounds like was something she craved.
Absolutely. Yeah. And her way of kind of coping with this was to basically just do the bare minimum.
Seems
Just enough to kind of appease her parents.
Yeah, just enough to tick the boxes.
Keep them happy.
But inside?
But inside, there was this cry for help,
Yeah.
this deep urge to escape
Yeah.
that she talks about. And
You can really feel that longing.
oh, totally. You can feel that longing
For something more, yeah.
for something more. Yeah.
It's palpable.
And it's so relatable too, right?
Absolutely. That internal conflict, it's something so many people experience. That pull between what's expected
Right.
and what you truly desire.
Yes.
It can be so paralyzing.
Totally. And for her, moving abroad kind of became this potential escape route.
Right.
But even that, right, was so complicated by her own fears, like the fear of kind of going against the grain and
Yeah.
what was expected of her, but also just the fundamental
Right, the basic fear,
of leaving everything she knew
leaving home.
and her family.
Yeah. And it's interesting, isn't it, how her parents reacted to this idea. Her mother's hesitation, it's understandable, that protective instinct.
Totally.
But her father, recognizing her spirit of adventure,
Yeah.
I think that suggests maybe a deeper understanding of her need to forge her own path.
Yeah.
And her main reason for wanting to go abroad,
Yeah.
to face and overcome her fears, it says so much about her drive for growth.
Right.
It wasn't about running away, but actively seeking a challenge.
Yes.
It takes courage to confront your fears head on.
It does. And then we get to this point where she's almost talking herself out of leaving.
Right, like she's wavering.
Like Budapest becomes this, like,
Yeah, she builds it up.
the best city in the world in her mind. With
All the possibilities.
endless possibilities.
But deep down, you can tell.
Yeah, she's not happy.
She's not truly content.
But she's creating these, like, logical reasons
Yeah, rationalizations.
to stay
Pinterest put.
in her comfort zone.
It's like those seemingly logical reasons to stay were actually just a way to avoid facing
Yeah,
that underlying dissatisfaction.
totally.
And it's a common thing, isn't it? When we ignore our deepest desires, they have a way of resurfacing,
Yes,
in unexpected ways.
they do.
Almost like they have a life of their own.
It's so true. And that kind of brings us to the dream.
Yes.
So she describes this as like a really pivotal moment, a night that changed everything. And it's not just any dream, right? It's like she wakes up with this deep sense
That it had meaning.
that it meant something, that it was a message, right? And she's asking these really deep questions about dreams.
It's a classic human experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
The power of dreams
Yeah.
to sort of tap into our subconscious
Totally.
and give us insights
Yes.
that we might miss when we're awake.
Yeah. Have you ever had a dream that's felt that?
Oh, countless times.
Real.
They can be so vivid and impactful, Yeah, like they stay with you.
They do, yeah. So, okay, let's break down this dream, Rainey.
Okay.
Because the imagery that she describes
Yes.
is so striking. So we've got this endless, dark brown wall that's gradually kind of fading into these white clouds.
Right.
And she's sitting in this tiny little hole all by herself,
Alone.
curled up, fetal position.
In white underwear.
In white underwear, just white underwear.
Stark image.
And there's no sounds, no touch, no smells. It's just
her.
alone.
And this vast emptiness.
Yeah.
What are your first impressions when you hear that?
It's a profound sense of isolation, isn't it?
Yes.
And confinement.
It is.
The fetal position itself, it often suggests vulnerability, a need for comfort, or maybe even a symbolic return to a more primal state.
Yes.
And the lack of sensory input, it's like being disconnected from the external world.
Yes.
Or maybe it represents this intense inward focus.
Like all distractions are stripped away so she can confront something essential within herself.
Yes.
And then that wall dissolving into the clouds.
Yeah.
It's like a visual representation of the unknown.
Right.
The vast possibilities beyond her current limited view.
Yes.
It's like she's on the verge of something new.
Okay, so then behind these clouds, she starts to see these faint outlines of skyscrapers, but no matter how long she looks at them, they never
come into focus.
They stay kind of blurry.
Yeah, hazy.
And she starts to feel really bored.
Right.
Which is so interesting, right? Like you've got this...
It's a bizarre setting.
For
such an ordinary emotion.
Yeah, boredom.
But that boredom, I think it's actually a key element here. It reflects the stagnation she was feeling in her waking life.
Right.
Even in this surreal dreamscape, The lack of progress, the unchanging view.
Yeah.
It all leads to this feeling of emptiness.
It's like this deep yearning for something more, but she doesn't know what it is yet.
Yeah. The what is still unclear, but the longing is definitely there.
It's there, yeah. Okay, so then she looks around.
And she sees the others.
And there are all these other people in similar... Little holes wearing the same white clothing, staring at the same blurry skyscrapers.
Just like her.
And they're all...
completely unaware
of each other.
Yeah.
Like they're completely isolated, even though they're...
in this shared space.
all in this shared space.
It's a powerful image, isn't it?
It's unsettling.
Of being trapped in this collective rut,
Yeah.
Just going through the motions without ever questioning.
Yeah.
The fact that they're oblivious to each other, it emphasizes the isolation that can exist even in conformity.
Yes.
It's a stark depiction of what she probably feared most.
Yeah. Yes.
Ending up like that, on autopilot, unaware of other possibilities.
Yeah, and it's this vision, right?
Yes.
This realization that kind of jolts her into action.
Right. She starts looking for a way out.
Yeah. And then this rope appears.
Out of nowhere.
Dangling in the distance.
But it seems impossible to reach.
It seems impossible to reach. And as soon as she sees it, she's hit with this wave of fear. Like,
what if she jumps and misses?
what if she falls?
Right, and falls to her death.
Yeah. Yeah. But then she makes this incredible choice.
The brave choice.
To jump.
Because the fear of a life that's dull and lonely
Yeah.
is even greater.
Than the fear of falling.
It's a turning point.
Yeah.
It's that visceral act of rebellion against her reality.
Yeah.
The physical manifestation of that cry for help we talked about before.
And she's willing to risk it all.
She is, for a chance at something more.
And then the craziest thing happens. So she jumps, right?
Yeah, she takes the leap.
She misses the rope.
Oh, no.
And she feels that
terror. Phobia.
Falling.
Yeah.
And then, out of nowhere, this hand...
a hand reaches out.
reaches out and pulls her.
Pulls her to safety.
To the rope. And she's left with all these questions, right?
Who was it?
How did that happen? Whose hand was that?
That ambiguity, it's significant.
Yeah.
That helping hand, it could symbolize so many things.
What do you think it was?
It's that unexpected grace.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even her own inner strength.
Yeah.
Manifesting externally.
Wow.
In a moment of need. And it makes you think about the support we might find.
Yeah.
When we push ourselves outside our comfort zones.
But she starts to climb the rope. Right.
Upwards toward the clouds.
Toward the clouds.
Yeah.
And she arrives in this large, carved out cave.
A new space.
And it's like more
substantial.
How welcoming.
Welcoming, yeah.
And she can actually feel the wind on her skin.
Even though it's still silent at this point.
Silent.
It's like a reawakening of the senses.
Yes. And it's the first time that she can stand up and move around freely.
That freedom of movement.
Yes.
It's a powerful symbol of her newfound agency, her ability to control her own path.
Oh. And then she enters another room in the cave, and there's this white canopy bed.
And another window.
Another carved window.
Yeah.
And that's when she finally hears the wind.
The sound returns.
And she describes it as magical, like
being born again.
being reborn. And when she looks out the window,
What did she see?
the skyscrapers are almost completely clear now.
Wow, the fog is lifted.
The fog has lifted.
So she has this newfound clarity.
But the people down below in the holes
They're still stuck.
are still stuck. Yeah.
Oblivious.
Oblivious.
It's a powerful contrast.
It's a huge contrast.
Highlighting the transformation she's undergone.
And then in this moment of reflection, right, she feels this presence behind her.
The presence.
And these arms.
Familiar arms.
Embracing her.
Embracing her.
And she knows.
She knows.
And how does she feel?
She feels so loved.
Loved.
Appreciated. Safe. Without even having to look back.
Powerful, isn't it?
So powerful.
That sense of unconditional love and acceptance. It is. So then she wakes up.
Back to reality.
Back to reality. And she spends hours just like
Processing.
Right. Trying to understand.
Decipher the message.
What it all means.
Yeah. It can take time to unpack these things, can't it?
And she says it took her years, actually, to really fully grasp, the meaning of the dream. But she eventually comes to this really detailed interpretation.
And what is it?
Where the leap of faith is about overcoming her biggest fear.
Mm-hmm.
And the motionless people, they're like symbols of those.
Stuck in a limited perspective.
Who haven't had a similar kind of awakening yet, right?
Right, like sleepwalking through life.
And the foggy skyscrapers, those represent the limited worldviews.
Right, based on lack of experience.
Based on a lack of real-world experience. And the white clothing, that symbolizes the purity
the inherent
within everyone. And the different locations on the wall, those represent all the different perspectives on the same reality.
Right, we all see the world through our own unique lens.
And then the distant rope. That symbolizes our limiting beliefs.
The things that hold us back.
Yeah, and the jump itself, that is the
act of faith.
And catching the rope, that's like
self-belief.
Self-belief.
And courage.
Courage to leave your comfort zone. And the cave, that's like this new
expanded comfort zone.
More expansive comfort zone.
Yeah.
And the return of the senses of hearing and touch.
Yes.
That represents the wisdom.
The wisdom gained through experience.
Yeah, through experience that expands our understanding
of the world.
Of reality. And then that clearer view of the skyscrapers, that's like
a shift in perspective.
Yeah. Change in beliefs and emotions.
Right. Seeing things with new eyes.
And then the world beyond, like the extended world beyond the cave.
The possibilities.
And that's the reward.
The reward for taking the leap.
For taking that initial leap of faith.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl who saved her, that's her
inner being. Intuition.
Yeah.
Or spiritual self.
Promising her support.
Support and guidance. It's a remarkable interpretation, isn't it?
Powerful interpretation.
It really highlights the incredible power of our subconscious to communicate through these symbols and metaphors.
Yeah.
And her ability to break it down like that. It speaks to her intuitive nature.
Yeah.
Her willingness to look within for answers. And the way she connects these images and feelings into this message about personal growth, it's inspiring. Makes you wonder what your own dreams might be telling you.
It really does. So the impact of this dream on her was immediate and profound. She still had those underlying fears.
Of course, fear was natural.
But the message of the dream was so strong and clear that the very next day, she did something that terrified her.
What was it?
She applied
To go abroad.
for that semester abroad.
And she got accepted.
And she got in. It's like the dream was this
catalyst,
this push she needed
to take that first step.
to take action. Have you ever felt that kind of pull in your own life?
Absolutely. Those moments where something inside just tells you.
Yes.
You have to do something, even if it scares you.
It's like an inner knowing.
It is, and it's usually right.
So in this section, we've really uncovered the roots of her spirit of adventure, right?
Yeah, the foundation.
The foundation. From the initial dissatisfaction with the path that wasn't for her,
Right, that didn't feel authentic.
to the idea of escaping through moving abroad, and then this powerful dream
That changed everything.
that really changed everything for her.
And it makes you think, doesn't it, about the role that dreams
Yeah.
or those gut feelings
Yeah,
play in our own lives.
especially during times of big changes.
Right, or when we have big decisions to make,
Have you ever had a similar experience?
where something inside just nudges you in a certain direction.
It's something to think about.
It is, definitely.
And in our next deep dive, we'll continue to follow her story and see what unfolds when she actually takes that leap
When she embarks on her semester abroad.
and embarks on that semester abroad. It's going to be fascinating to see how that initial spark of courage
Yeah,
grows into this bigger adventure.
I can't wait.
Thanks for tuning in to the deep dive.
See you next time.
See you next time.